Welcome to CUTV Newsbriefs. I'm Zoltan Somoru. In today's headlines, Concordia Women's Centre fights the Supreme Court of Canada, the Israeli Holocaust collection gets expanded, and students fight for education in Bangladesh. 4 Concordia students have taken a twist on helping out people in Bangladesh. Sheila Ismail, Iqbal Mustafa, and David Widgington, John Buskard have formed Homeward Bound International, aimed at building a school. However, this school is not for poor children. Aimed at the elite, it is intended for repatriated citizens who would want to put their children into a private school. Ismail said that Homeward Bound International will run it as a private school, in the hope that it will eventually become self-financing. The plan behind building the school is to attract the elite and reverse the brain drain, attracting valuable members of the educated back to Bangladesh. The company started from the research based on highly qualified people in Canada who stated they would like to return to their country, but are reluctant to take their children out of Canadian schools. Canadian local teachers would be hired so that each classroom would have 2 teachers. This plan provides teacher training. Eventually, the Canadians would be phased out. Ismail said Homeward Bound is sensitive to Islamic culture. To donate to the Homeward Bound group funding drive for money and usable teaching equipment, contact David Widgington at fax number 932-2344. Concordia's Israeli Holocaust collection is being generously expanded due to a $33,000 grant from the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council. Situated in the Webster Library, it will be on display until the end of the month. The collection of books, journals, diaries, and government records marked history as it was being made. History professor Frank Chalk is one of the founders of Concordia's Montreal Institute for Genocide and Human Rights Studies. He also chairs the committee which selects materials for the collection. The compilation of displays contains almost 4,000 items. The focus of the exhibition, says Professor Chalk, is divided into 3 categories: punishment of crimes against humanity and war crimes, reactions of Western governments to the persecution of Jews, and preservation of the collective Jewish memory. Chalk states that the committee had searched the archives of the world to come up with subjects that would be useful for research within the 3 areas of concentration. He stated that the area studying the punishment of war criminals is complete. Concordia's Women's Centre has launched a petition against the recent Supreme Court Canada ruling citing extreme drunkenness as a defense for rape. The petition will be sent to Federal Justice Minister Alan Rock. Program Coordinator Emily Paradis says the petition is very important as an educational and empowerment tool. The Supreme Court of Canada ruled that 72-year-old Henri Daviau could use extreme drunkenness as a defense for rape. Daviau is accused of raping a 65-year-old woman after consuming 7 to 8 beer and 40 ounces of brandy. A Quebec Superior Court found him not guilty, but a new trial in the Quebec Court of Appeals later found him guilty. It held that extreme intoxication equal to insanity cannot be used as a defense for sexual assault. However, when Daviau appealed to the Supreme Court of Canada, it ordered a new trial based on the ruling that extreme intoxication can be used as a defense for sexual assault, with the burden of proof resting with the accused. Estelle Gravel, Crown prosecutor responsible for the Montreal courthouse sexual assault case team, feels the ruling won't pose a problem. Gravel says that extreme drunkenness is very rare, and in order to use this defense, the witness will have to prove that it was extreme drunkenness with an expert. Despite claims to the rarity of extreme drunkenness, women's groups are more worried about the social implications of the decision. Michel Seguin, coordinator at the Office of the Status of Women at Concordia, agrees that rape is indefensible. Seguin is worried that this law could undermine the problem of sexual assault and violence against women. According to Seguin, women will still not be treated fairly. In the meantime, the Women's Centre will continue its protest efforts. Paradis plans to bring up the issue at the annual December 6th Take Back the Night demonstration, which protests all forms of violence against women. Copies of the petition can be picked up at the Women's